Hey guys, it's ToProForuGames, and today I have a very interesting ranking from worst to best video. I'll be going over all of the attachments here in Zombies, and that does not include any of the operator mods. So on my last video, I did my first ever image quiz, and like I said in that video, it was a very easy one, and I think almost everybody got it right. The correct answer was the Zeus perk on IX and Voyage of Despair, so congrats to literally every single one of you who got that one right. Today though, we're going back to the sound quiz, so let's go ahead and jump into the sound right now. So good luck to all of you with that one right there, and also for those of you who are new, make sure to hit that sub button. If you are subbed, make sure you have your notifications turned on, because lately the sub boxes and even the notifications themselves have been really glitchy. So to make sure you guys know I dropped a new vid, make sure you have that bell clicked. Besides that, let's go ahead and start ranking these attachments. Coming in at the number 25 spot, we have the dual zoom sight, and we're starting off with a couple of sights just because sights don't have really a massive impact on weapons and how they perform, and the dual zoom sight is one sight that I personally would never use. I don't like it, and I'm sure a lot of you out there as well would never use this thing. Coming in at the number 24 spot, we have the threat detector sight. This is one sight that I actually used for a good amount of time in my ICR, and I really don't like it all that much. These kinds of sights don't really work all that well in Zombies. And MP, okay, I get it, but in Zombies it's kind of bulky, and I find that it zooms in a little bit too much. In the 23 spot, we have the Hallow Sight, and what happened to the holographic sights in Call of Duty before? I remember it was kind of like just a different version of the red dot. It wasn't a massive change, but now here in BO4, the Hallow it's just so zoomed in, and I don't know why you would want to use this thing over something like the red dot sight or the Elo sight. Coming in at the 22 spot, we have another sight, surprise surprise, and this is the recon sight. And the recon sight is a sight that I use a ton in Blackout. It's really good, so since I'm kind of used to using it, I don't mind using in Zombies. Obviously it's still not ideal, but for some camping strats and going for headshots, the recon sight honestly isn't the worst thing in the world. In the 21 spot, we have our first non-sight attachment, and this is the fast lock for the Hellion rocket launcher. It is only available on the Hellion, and that's one reason why I have it here in the 21 spot, but the other reason is the whole lock-on feature for the Hellion really isn't that good. It locks on to bigger enemies like the Blightfather, the Gladiators, the Brawlers, all those zombies, and it just doesn't really work half the time, and it's a lot easier just to aim and shoot yourself. Coming in at the number 20 spot, we have the Iron Sights attachment for the snipers. Now, the optic attachments for snipers here in BO4 are kind of strange. You know, some of them have Elo sights, some have the reflex, some have, you know, hollow, but all of them have iron sights. So it depends on the sniper I'm using, but using iron sights on a sniper is always fun, especially in Zombies. Coming in at the number 19 spot, we have Stabilizer 1 and 2, and real quick, if an attachment has a second version of it, I'll include that in the first version as well. I don't want to go over the same attachment twice. So for Stabilizer 1 and 2, the first one, it reduces weapon sway when aiming. That is somewhat helpful in Zombies. The other one is Hold Breath Longer, and this is an MP thing. This is something you just don't do in Zombies, is hold your breath. So the first one is somewhat useful. The second one is honestly useless. In the number 18 spot, we have the Max Load attachment, and this is only available on the SG-12. What it does is it adds an extra pellet to each shotgun shell, and it's something that really isn't all that noticeable. You know, it's nice having that extra pellets, higher chance of hitting your enemy, but is it something you absolutely have to have? Definitely not. In the 17th spot, we have another sight, and this is the compact scope, which is only available on the the Mozu, and I actually really like this sight because it makes getting headshots a lot easier with the Mozu. The iron sights are fine, but this just makes it a lot easier, and it's a kind of a nice sight too. I kind of wish this sight was on other guns as well, but for the Mozu, this is a must-have. In the number 16 spot, we have yet another sight, and this is the Reflex Sight. The Reflex Sight is obviously one of the best sights in the game. It's not the best, but it does make getting headshots and just aiming on certain weapons, especially because some guns have really bad iron sights. So Reflex Sight is just you know, a classic nice sight to use. In the number 15 spot, we have the long barrel 1 and 2 attachment, and this is one of those attachments that also, you know, somewhat works in zombies, but somewhat doesn't work. It's more for MP. So long barrel 1, increase damage fall off ranges. This is definitely helpful for SMGs. The other one is increased muzzle velocity. Bullets hit their target faster. I just don't know why you would really need that in zombies, but hey, if you have nothing else to put on, you know, why not? Coming in at the number 14 spot, we have Stalk, and Stalk is definitely a super nice attachment to use, but I really feel like Stalk is way more useful in MP than it is here in zombies. So for Stalk 1, improved movement speed while aiming. For Stalk 2, maximized movement speed while aiming and maintain aim when jumping, landing, moving while prone. That's more for MP, but if you're somebody that wants to have that movement speed boost while aiming, Stalk 1 and 2 is definitely a must-have. In the number 13 spot, we have the barrel choke attachment for the MOG 12. This increases damage dealt by pellets and decreases pellet spread. Unfortunately, it's only on the MOG 12 because this is a very good attachment. It is a noticeable difference because your shots aren't spreading out as much. It's definitely a lot more accurate, and then doing more damage on top of that is incredibly nice. And if you use the MOG 12, this is a must-have attachment. In the 12th spot, we have the high explosive attachment that is only on the Hellion rocket launcher, and this increases the rocket damage and explosion radius. Now, the Hellion is already an absolute beast of a weapon. In my opinion, it is the best weapon here in BO4 Zombies, and then getting that increased rocket damage and explosion radius makes this gun even better when it's already just an absolute beast. Coming in at the number 11 spot, I have the laser sight, and the laser sight is very interesting here in BO4. So for almost, you know, all the weapons here in BO4, laser sight just improves your hipfire accuracy, and there is a laser sight too, which just maximizes hipfire accuracy, and you have no hipfire penalty when moving. The interesting thing though about this attachment is on the SG-12, the laser sight 2, it also has that maximized hipfire accuracy, but it also it increases your pellets damage. So for some reason, this attachment, or the second one on the SG-12, gives you more damage, which is definitely a must-have. In the number 10 spot, we have Quick Draw 1 and 2, and Quick Draw is a very simple attachment. It just improves your aiming speed. The second one makes it even faster, and having that quick aiming speed, just any kind of quick movements in zombies is always super nice, and this is one attachment that works super well both in multiplayer and in zombies. In the number 9 spot, we have our final sight, and that is the Elo sight. And there's something about the Elo sight that I just love so much on certain guns. It looks amazing, and it makes going for headshots a lot easier. It's pretty much a reflex sight, but a lot better. It doesn't feel as bulky, and it's just such a solid sight. Hands down, the best sight in all of Call of Duty. In the number 8 spot, we have Rapid Fire, and Rapid Fire is a super basic, straightforward attachment. It is an attachment that is really needed on some guns. For one example, the MOG 12. The MOG 12 with rapid fire is a completely different gun. Without it, it shoots so slow. With it, it's like almost automatic, and on ARs as well, and on LMGs, heck, even some snipers have rapid fire. So it's not something you want to use on every single gun, but there are some guns that completely change when this attachment is equipped. In the number 7 spot, we have the suppressor, and this is probably one of the most overlooked or underrated attachments here in BO4 Zombies because it's a suppressor. Why in the world do I want to have a suppressor in zombies? Now, personally, I don't know why, but just having a suppressor, it's kind of fun to use it in zombies, but what it does, it actually gives you a better chance of getting power-ups. And in zombies, power-ups are super important, so if you have that extra attachment slot, why not throw this on and at least have that extra chance of getting some drops, which can be really helpful at certain points in the game. In the number 6 spot, we have Extended Mags 1 and Extended Mags 2, and this one's simple. It increases your ammo capacity, so you have more ammo in general, and then within that clip, you have more ammo as well. And for zombies, this is an attachment that is super important because the more ammo you have, the better, and the more ammo you have in a clip, the better. So Extended Mags, maybe not always the best thing to have on, but it's definitely one thing you should always consider having on your gun if it's available. In the number 5 spot, we have FMJ1 and FMJ2, and honestly, I don't even know what FMJ1 does. It says reduce damage mitigation when hitting heavy and mini boss enemies. Honestly, I don't know what that means. FMJ2 though, increased damage against enemy armor, and that to me is the gold mine right there. You want to have that extra damage against armor. So gladiators on, you know, IX, then you have of course Brutus. I don't know if the Stoker counts, but maybe it might. But having that extra damage boost against enemy armor makes those bigger zombies a lot easier to kill. Coming in at the number 4 spot, we have Grip 1 and Grip 2, and this is a really weird attachment. It still is really good, but it's kind of strange. So for Grip 1, reduce recoil while aiming down sights, and who doesn't like having reduced recoil? It's always nice. I usually always have at least one of the grips on one of my weapons if it's available, because having that lower recoil is nice and necessary on certain guns. Grip 2 though is kind of strange. So minimize recoil when aiming before firing, so that's kind of cool. Reduces flinch when aiming down the sight. In zombies, you don't really need that, right? Because you're not getting shot at. I don't know if maybe that means if you get hit by the, you know, the gladiator's axe or the Blightfather's shots or the Stoker shots, but for the most part, that kind of second part of Grip 2 is completely useless, but overall, Grip is still a very good attachment here in zombies. In the number 3 spot, we have Hybrid Mags, and Hybrid Mags is a hybrid between Fast Mags and Extended Mags, and this attachment is only on weapons that don't have Fast Mags and don't have Extended Mags as an option, and then you'll have Hybrid Mags. And this is great. It's kind of the best of both worlds. You have that more ammo and faster reload. I kind of wish that Hybrid Mags was just on everything, because it's pretty much just 2 attachments in one, and then we can use more of the other attachments. In the number 2 spot, we have Fast Mags 1 and Fast Mags 2, and Fast Mags is just fast reload. One thing is when you pair this up with the Spicola, you have that same reload rate you did in like BO3 where it was instant fast. That's pretty much what Fast Mags is here in BO4. So for Fast Mags 1, of course, reload faster. For Fast Mags 2, every second magazine auto loads, which is pretty much just an instant reload. I don't know if I would ever really use Fast Mags 2 because Fast Mags 1 with that Spicola bonus is already so fast. I don't really think I need to waste an attachment slot for that, you know, instant reload for that second magazine. scene. Finishing off our list here in the #1 spot, the best attachment here in BO4 Zombies easily goes to High Caliber 1 and High Caliber 2. So this is an attachment that works differently across all weapons. For an example, I want to go on the sniper rifles, and for High Caliber 1, obviously you're going to get more headshot damage, but for High Caliber 1 on, for example, the Paladin, increased damage to the shoulders, and then for High Caliber 2, increased damage from the waist up, which is really nice on a gun like the Paladin. And again, that high caliber description kind of changes based on what gun you're using, but overall you're gonna get a damage boost, and that is always nice when it comes to zombies. There we have it, guys. That was every single attachment ranked from worst to best here in BO4 Zombies. Let me guys know in the comments below what worst to best list should I do next, and besides that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.